Welcome to NEWSWIRE LA. I'm your host, Chin THAMMASAENGSRI, and we are starting the first of a continuing series of reports called Inside City Hall. The Inside City Hall series is designed to take you inside of city government and its various parts. It's designed to show you what these parts do for us on a daily basis. We're starting our journey with the City of Los Angeles' Bureau of Streetlighting Department. Bureau head Ed EBRAHIMIAN is sitting down with us to give us an in-depth interview on what it's like being the man who's charged with keeping 400 square miles of city lit and safe. He's going to give us a look at the street lighting infrastructure that crisscrosses Los Angeles. He's going to let us know the future of street lighting in this city in terms of technology and advancements. He's also going to give us critical information that you can use to get in touch with his department 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So without further ado, let's go to the Public Works Building in downtown Los Angeles. This is our interview with Ed EBRAHIMIAN. Thank you for joining us, Mr. EBRAHIMIAN. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to answer our questions.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
All right, I'd like to start off with a little biographical data on who you are.
Well, I'm Ed EBRAHIMIAN. I'm the director of Bureau of Street Lighting. Bureau of Street Lighting is one of the bureaus in the Department of Public Works, and we basically maintain, operate, construct street lighting in the city of Los Angeles.
Now, one of the things I'm always interested in knowing is, do you have a background in urban planning or streetlight design? How did you kind of fall into this?
Well, I have a background in civil engineering. My degree is in Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. And about 25 years ago, I applied for the city, and I did have an interview with the Bureau of Street Lighting. And at that time, I was hired to come on board. And basically, my entire background is the last 25 years that I worked in the Bureau.
Now, here in the Bureau of Street Lighting, how many people do you oversee in this particular division?
Well, it's actually Bureau. In our Bureau, we have approximately 215 employees. We basically do everything in the Bureau of Street Lighting in-house. We have our own engineers who do the design. We have our maintenance and repair crews where we repair streetlights throughout the city. We do our own budgeting. We have our own budget personnel. We have our own IT personnel. So all that totals about 215 employees.
What's it kind of like getting the concerns of the Bureau of Street Lighting heard? You know, among those concerns that you might hear from transportation, street maintenance, maybe not Department of Water and Power, but the other division, the other bureaus that make up.
Yeah, actually, Department of Water and Power is probably the most because we work very closely with the Department of Water and Power. As you know, streetlights need electricity to illuminate, and we basically get that from the Department of Water and Power. And annually, we pay approximately, before our L.E.D program, about $16 million to the Department of Water and Power to keep the street lights on. But overall, how do we get our voice out? We work very closely. I work under the mayor and the mayor's staff directly, and we work very closely with all the departments, including all the bureaus in the Department of Public Works. We work very closely with the Department of Transportation. We work very closely with the Board of Public Works and all the members and all the commissioners that we have in the board. We work closely with Street Services, with Bureau of Engineering, and basically we do the coordinations through the Mayor's Office and the Board of Public Works.
How have the economic woes impacted operations here at the Bureau of Street Lighting? Have they impacted them at all?
Well, yes. I think every division, every bureau, every department in the city, in this city, and probably other cities throughout the country have been impacted with the financial problems that we're facing today. Some more, some less. Bureau of Street Lighting, we've been fortunate that our funding is coming from Street Lighting Maintenance Assessment Fund. That's a special fund that can only be used for street lighting purposes. So the impact has been less compared to the other departments who are relying heavily on general fund money. But having said that, I just want to share the fact that the city has been reducing workforce, and that has impacted us also. Actually, right now, today, we are carrying about 40 vacancies in the bureau.
The city of Los Angeles is 400 square miles, basically. How many streetlights are within that? Are within your purview? How many streetlights do you guys maintain and operate in the city?
Well, city of Los Angeles, we have more than 210,000 streetlights. And we are responsible to maintain all those streetlights in the city. The city, only 2/3 of the city of Los Angeles has lights. So 1/3 of the city of Los Angeles, and that's surprising to a lot of people that I share this information with, doesn't have streetlights, and it's dark at nights. There are some neighborhoods in the city that don't want streetlights. They don't want to light up the night with streetlights. But this was all formed many years ago when initially the city expanded. There was no condition for the developers at that time to install streetlights on the new development projects.
And some of those neighborhoods just say, we'll opt out. We don't want any of those streetlights in our neighborhood.
Yeah, some neighborhoods even today, when we approach them, they say we don't want, like Brentwood doesn't want streetlights in their neighborhood, part of the Brentwood.
Roughly, how many different styles of lights and poles do we have running around this city?
Well, roughly, it's very difficult sometimes to give you the exact number, but it's more than 400 different styles of streetlights that we have in the city. Some of them are dating back to early 1920s, 1930s, and most of them were installed after 1950s. But we have more than 400 different styles of streetlights in the city.
What is the state of Los Angeles' street lighting grid?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we have some infrastructure that is feeding our streetlights throughout the city that were installed back in 1920s, 1930s, 1940s. We have about approximately 30,000 streetlights in the city that are on high voltage. Those are heavy, high voltage, heavy lines, the old Christmas type street lights, where one light goes out, the whole circuit goes up. So we have about 30,000 that are on older circuits that we are in the process of converting as the funding becomes available. But overall, the street lighting, I guess to give a grade, will be approximately a C grade for the infrastructure in the street lighting.
20 years ago, it was kind of customary for a lot of classic old standards to be taken down and replaced by more modern standards like the davits or just the tin or just the aluminum poles. I'm noticing that the city of Los Angeles is making a wonderful effort to keep a lot of those, or at least put up replicas of those classic old standards. What possessed you guys to do that?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just a vision that we had when we came on board. I think my approach has always been that some of those older, ornate-looking lights, they basically are part of the fabric of different communities that we have in the city. And frankly, I love them. And if they're standing and they're not a hazard to the citizens, we are going to make them work. Maybe we'll change the guts inside, and we use a newer lamp source, but the looks of it is not going to change. So our approach has been that if something is not falling apart and is standing, we're going to keep it there. And if it's falling, we try to get replicas for them so it looks exactly the same, because again, in my opinion, that's part of the neighborhoods of that we have in the city of Los Angeles.
The fabric of Los Angeles.
That's correct.
Now, the really good part of our segment here is that within the last 3 or 4 years, roughly, the mayor's unveiled a plan, and this is where you'll clear up a lot of the misconceptions, to convert many street lighting systems from their current high-pressure sodium metal halide incandescent to LED. What was the impetus for moving along with such a bold plan?
Well, first I would say the mayor's green initiative probably was the driving force here. When the mayor came on board, he wanted to make city of Los Angeles the greenest city in the country. And I think that resonated through all the departments. And we were actually fortunate at the time when the mayor came on board and we came on board that LED technology, which is this green new energy efficient light source, was available for us. Actually, we've been following the LED technology for a while, actually, even before mayor came on board, but the technology wasn't quite here at that time. So basically all this came together with the mayor's green initiative, with our approach to energy efficiency, and we basically worked closely with the Department of Water and Power here in the city, and also Clinton Climate Initiative to put this program together. About 3 years ago, we finalized the program. 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, we launched the program. And 2 years ago, we started the conversion of the streetlights in the city to LED.
Now, is there any logic to the areas that you're converting to LED? I noticed that most major thoroughfares, for the most part, are remaining in their high-pressure sodium or metal halide design, while many neighborhoods are going into the LED.
Well, yes. The LED, as I mentioned, is a brand new technology, and frankly, it wasn't available for street lighting purposes 5 years ago. And then slowly the technology grew, and we were able to get street light fixtures to replace lower wattage lights. And that's why at that time when we started, we targeted mostly the residential neighborhoods in the city. And as we go forward, this technology will get to a point where the lighting, the LED fixtures will be available for higher wattage major streets in the city. And even today, slowly they're becoming available. Now, the other thing we did with the LED deployment was that we started covering the high crime areas of the city. And the reason for it was that when we were doing the testing, we worked very closely with the police department. Police department, frankly, loves the LED lighting. It has a white light. It has a lot better color rendering than the traditional HPS. And actually, it throws the light much more evenly all over the roadway, public right-of-way. So because of those reasons, we targeted the local streets and also the high crime areas of the city. Let me talk about our LED program. Our LED program is to convert 140,000 streetlights in the city. I mentioned earlier we have 210,000 streetlights in the city. So there's about 70,000 streetlights that are not the modern style Cobra heads. When we started the program, the technology wasn't quite there for the decorative fixtures to have the LED light source in there. And even today, a lot of them are not available, but we're following the technology as we speak. And eventually, I'm pretty sure we will add that to our conversion program when we finish the 140,000 conversion.
NewsWire LA continues its look inside of the Bureau of Street Lighting. So stay tuned and we'll be back after this station break.